Yo, yo. What up? What up? Yo. What up? What up? Hey. Hey, welcome. Welcome to Benny's crib. What up? Yeah, just leave your shoes over there. It's cool. Yeah, thanks. Does that sound cool? Yo, what up? Welcome to Benny's crib. Oh yeah, he's like just going deep into a part of a movie I've never seen before. So
What
shout
year
out
did it
David
come
Lynch.
out?
That came out in '86.
86.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's gonna be some. It's gonna be a little weird.
You like Twin Peaks and shit like that. It's a good place to start for David Lynch.
All right, word.
That's a good place to start the podcast
Yeah.
here. I can't believe we're here. We started doing this without cameras, and now we got. If you can't see at home because literally it's the opposite side, but there's 3 cameras, 2 lights. There's a friggin' elephant case of different lenses. We got 3 mics. We got cords plugging into cords. And we got Krate Killer here today at Benny's crib. How we doing?
Honored, bro. Happy to be here, man.
Tremendous. Let's crank you up to like 8.
Yeah, bro. No problem.
I want to hear you nice and crisp and
Yes,
clean.
sir. Here, let me move this a little closer too.
Yeah.
Get the
You know how it
TV
be.
dinner stand closer.
You be at a lot of studio sessions and shit across a lot of different genres, I imagine.
Tons, man. I get hired for a lot of drum tracking sessions for just like any type of band, rock, hip hop, anything. And then I record a lot of hip hop, do a lot of engineering work and stuff.
That's tremendous because it's going to be an interesting episode. I definitely have seen you out here as a hip hop producer, producing beats. Obviously, like, your name, from what I imagine, is referencing like crate digging.
Yeah.
So it's clear, like, from the jump, you're definitely like into this hip hop shit. But I feel like I know you more from potentially, lack of a better word, like hardcore background.
Oh, yeah.
And like, just like the diversity of different like bands you've been in. So I'm definitely like interested to get into this and kind of maybe start in the beginning, get into the early parts of your life. I do want to hear about a lot of your time, like, as a drummer.
Yeah.
And then get into the Krate Killer shit a little bit. So let's get into the first question that we got to ask everybody. And that's, what's your first memory of hip-hop?
I was so excited to answer this question. I'm not going to lie to you.
Doing your research?
Yeah, it was.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I don't even know if this counts necessarily as the first memory, but like a core childhood memory of hip hop. I remember being like 6th grade. I had my CD player, and my CD player had like this like wrap cord thing, and I'd wrap it around my belt loop, so I'd have to carry it, and it would skip. It was the worst idea ever.
No, that sounds cool, though.
Yeah, I was trying to be cool, but it was stupid. But
did it work?
It sort of.
So,
really.
if it worked, fuck how you look. But if it didn't work and then you look goofy, then it's like, oh no.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was cringy when I was younger. I'm probably still cringy now. Yeah.
Who cares?
But
who even knows what that means? Regardless.
50 Cent, The Massacre.
Oh, everyone brings that one up, man. That's fucking.
I was
The
listening.
Massacre.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say Get Rich or Die Trying.
No, bro, The
I'm assuming
Massacre, because the Ski Mask Way. Man, that was my favorite track off that whole album. I love 21 Questions and like all of his hits off that album, but Ski Mask Way, I was like, damn, 50 Cent's just you can't mess with him, man.
Yeah, it's wild how good 50 is. I don't even know if I remember that song, Ski, because I'm not the most privy into his shit on that album, Ski Mask. I'm finna look it up right now.
Yeah, that sample's nasty.
Was that even was that a single from that album?
No, it's definitely.
That's
like,
probably why.
Yeah,
In
it's
fifth grade, I
like
knew,
track like 11 or something.
Got you. I know like Candy Shop and shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a deep cut on the record, but if you hear that, you're like, oh, he's talking his talk.
I love 50 Cent deep cuts. I think 50 Cent's a really talented MC overall. I mean, he's got this joint on his album Curtis. I think it's his 3rd album. That's not even like one of his better albums, I think, but there's a joint called Moving On Up. Just one of those ones like you hear it in the car and the way the 808s hit, you're like, all right, yeah, like this is a good, like, I got to get some shit done today. Like, I play this in the morning and I'm going to be on a good page.
And
so, shout out 50 Cent, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out 50 Cent. He did a feature with Griselda a couple years ago, City on the Map.
Is that on the What Would
What Machine Gun Do? Yeah, dude. Yeah, and I was like...
Shady Records, kind of affiliation with each of them. Because, or actually, I don't believe Eminem was on... I don't believe Eminem specifically signed 50. I think 50 signed to Interscope. Am I tripping here? I'm trying to look this up because I could be wrong about all this, but obviously Eminem and 50 Cent, go way back to the Dr. Dre kind of connection. And Eminem, I think's in the club video. I believe as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think.
That's sick.
Like, I think Eminem, like, low key, like, helped find 50 Cent, like, pretty heavily.
I believe that.
The reason I'm not, like, flat out just saying that is because I know Jam Master Jay had a huge impact in that too, I believe. So rest in peace, Jam Master Jay. But I think, like, my brain's telling me that I gotta go fucking find. This is like 20 years ago. If we were still in middle school, I'd know all this shit. So Get Rich or Die Trying comes out on Interscope, Aftermath, and Shady. Oh. Interscope is like the huge entity. I think that's Jimmy Iovine. I could be tripping. But then you have Aftermath, which is Shady. Which is Dre, and then Shady is under Aftermath. Shady is Eminem's.
Yes.
Shady, I believe, dropped What Would Sheen Do, that album.
Oh.
That's why I bring all that back, and that's probably why 50 Cent was on
I was just about to say that's how they got that.
Yeah, I'm trying to see it. Wow, so 50 Cent really did have fucking Shady records behind that. Damn, it is wild to think about, like, just how fucking poppin' Dr. Dre is sometimes when
it's
just the fingerprints of his career.
It's nuts.
Because like you said, 50 Cent, like, I'm assuming. Oh, I didn't even ask. Where'd you grow up, bro? Where are you from?
I grew up in Standish.
Standish, man.
Standish, Maine. So like,
I went kind of near like the like Lyman line, kinda.
Kind of.
Gorham.
Gorham is next to Gorham.
Gotcha.
So I grew up all over there. So I was always like out in the sticks, like, and I felt like a weirdo because I was like a hip hop guy.
But you're still bumping 50 Cent.
Bumping 50 Cent out in the sticks, and everyone's like, listening to fucking whatever country artist is out there. So I was like, I mean, I played my country too, but rap has always been like my always go back to genre no matter what.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm looking right now. Eminem did sign 50 Cent, by the way.
That's dope.
And now I should actually look up What Would Sheen Do, because I hate when I don't hate, but you can't just be saying stuff as a journalist and be like, I think it's that. Like,
yeah.
I want to be on my shit, but it's interesting, again, the name 50 Cent being brought up and you being in a more rural part of Maine and still resonating with that, because it's a theme, 100 episodes in, we've heard is like, motherfuckers in 03, 04, 05, 06, everybody is playing 50 Cent. Everyone's rocking G-Unit. Everybody's fucking rocking Fat Farm. And we're all in like white ass, rural Maine, man. It's like so funny to think back to this shit. And What Would Sheen Do did come out on Shady. So there we go. It all makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense, because I think they talk about, them being Griselda signed to like Shady Records and stuff with that. So that makes a lot more sense, understanding like the backstory of that. So
yeah. All right. Well, hell yeah, we're getting some kind of background info here.
Yeah.
So you're in Standish. It sounds like you're into music. Did you have any other hobbies as a youth? Like, what were you kind of doing? Was it mostly music most of the time?
Yeah. So my stepfather and my father are both drummers. So it was kind of like if I was, with my mom, my stepdad, there was a kid there. So I was like around it, but they never pushed me on it. And, I just like, one day I just walked downstairs. I was like, I need to learn how to play the drums. I'm probably like 11 years old. Played on like pots and pans as a kid, whatever. But, yeah, that was like kind of where it started for me, just learning how to make beats and just like playing beats and learning albums and stuff, and playing even along to hip hop albums and stuff too, hip hop songs. There's like I'm not gonna be able to remember the name of the song. It was like a super poppy rap song from like 2008 that I wanted to do a drum cover to. But yeah, like,
what was that cat? You might know this, bro. There was a dude on YouTube. I want to say his name started with a C. It wasn't Cody. It was like maybe Kobe. It was like Kobe Drums or something like that. And he always did like big epic drum additions to like poppin' songs, like hip hop songs, like big pop songs. Oh man, if you were on YouTube, like, because this is like, I'm like toe in the water, hardcore shit, like quotes. At that time, like a day to remember. Shit like that, like surface level shit that like even high school kids like me were getting into.
Yeah.
But there's even like under the water, deeper, and I go into, I wouldn't even say like, I think like genres and words are so tough. But like, you know, bands sometimes that like don't sound as hard on like a record, you probably go to a show, would be a lot harder. Like maybe like Title Fight back in the day,
Yeah.
shit like that. Like
Yeah.
that was my kind of shit. Like
Yeah,
Title
yeah.
Fight, 4 Years Strong, kind of like
Yeah.
the poppier
Yeah.
side of the hardcore scene.
Yeah, man.
That still was very, you know, heavy on the guitar and drums.
Yeah.
And
4 Years Strong's crazy.
yeah, they're from they're from New England. I know
Yeah,
for
they're
sure,
from
yeah.
New England. I in 2019 I played in a band. I was playing with a band called Bloom, and we played the 4 Years Strong Christmas show at the Palladium.
That's in Worcester, right?
Yeah.
I think that's where they're from, right?
Yeah,
That's fucking.
dude.
that
So
must-
we were playing like 2,000 people or
yeah,
something.
what was that
crazy.
show
Yeah, it
like?
was-
Any like big like memories from that night?
Just man, it was just crazy, the energy in that room, man. Everyone was there to just have fucking fun. And this was like right before like all the COVID stuff too. So it was like, not that I want to get into that at all, but like it's cool to have that memory be, you know, what it is, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, it's just dope thinking about like how deep that scene is out here still.
It's
and
crazy.
How back in high school, you know, I graduated in 2012. I was listening to shit like watching YouTube drum covers of like hip hop songs. Here you are, like in your basement in Standish, wanting to play them.
Yeah, man.
I had a great question about, you know, music being around in your family, but it's pretty wild that both your pops and your stepdad
Yeah.
both are drummers.
Yeah.
Were they like more personal, like hobby drummers, or like were they in bands as well? Like, kind of break that down.
Yeah, man. So it's actually like really crazy. So my dad played in a band, and you know, back in the 80s, touring wasn't quite as extensive as it is now. Like, you can be a local band and book a national tour. You know what I mean? Like, you have,
That's a good point. Yeah.
you know what I mean? You have the internet to do all this stuff. But back then, man, they were playing from Bangor to Boston, which was like a lot of ground to cover when you're just going by like, you know, face-to-face interactions and stuff. So they did a lot of stuff, and they ended up working with like one of the guys in the band Kansas. They like went to his house and like
Dust in the Wind, Kansas.
yeah, crazy. And that whole thing went south while they were out there. They had to like sell all their stuff to like get back home, because this was out in Arizona, and they're all from Maine.
Bunch of cats from Maine.
Yeah, out
hanging
there.
with the band Kansas
In
in Arizona.
Arizona.
Where'd they go after that?
They got fucked so bad.
oh,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, so they like had to sell all their stuff to get back home, and then that was when the band was pretty much done. And my dad still played like recreationally after that. Stepdad was in cover bands and stuff, and so I didn't like necessarily resonate with the music that they were playing, but I was just like kind of around it, you know? So I was grateful for that. Nice to be in that
Yeah,
environment.
just being around the process of it.
Yeah, my mom was like listening to Korn in the car.
Oh,
It was
dude,
like,
I always want
yeah.
to start doing the corn like, like
that's-
yeah. Eric Andre does that, and dude, it makes me fucking laugh. So hard. I'm like, dude, I can't. If I think I hear that, I think of him doing it, then I want to start doing.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, shout out Jonathan Davis again. I was huge. I mean, come on, like, come on, Undone with it. That's them Franchise Boys and Korn. Remember that show when that dropped?
What is it?
So there's a song called, you know, the song "Coming Undone"
Yeah,
by
yeah,
Korn.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
And you remember the song "Lean with It, Rock with It"?
Oh, they did the like
you ever
a,
seen
a
that?
mashup
I'll
of
put
it.
that on YouTube before you leave.
Yeah,
they did a
please,
mashup.
yeah.
It's the heavy like chords from the beginning of "Coming Undone" or it's like dun 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 dun,
Yeah,
dun,
yeah.
and then it's like I get my shoulders. I forget the lyrics, and then it's like "Lean with it, rock with it," and it's like dun dun dun, dun. Dude, it's honestly kind of extra. Oh, the cat getting you.
Yeah, you think?
Hey, come on, yo, it's a guest. Come on, podcast people. The cat's going fucking haywire here.
Haywire, but we love it.
Hey, come on, you know who's better than this cat? But
Nolan Young.
yeah, shout out Korn, man.
Yeah.
Korn's very influential into that whole new metal taking over the the mainstream, man. This cat's getting up on all this shit. Well, I want to now maybe pivot into maybe a more concrete channeling of the. I don't trust this cat, man. This cat's looking at me doing shit.
He's about to attack.
And let's get into a more concrete channeling, I think, of that creative energy.
Yeah.
I believe you said maybe you were around 11 when you were kind of getting into like actually picking up
Yeah.
the sticks and shit.
Yeah.
Let's kind of break down maybe. The word serious is a kind of like loose term, but when did you really like take this shit? Like, I want to like put a lot of time into this to like practice and even start to like get into like bands? When did that start?
Man, so I was like, you know, just like playing drums in the basement for like probably 2 years, 3 years before I played in front of anyone. And one of my first shows that I ever played was the holiday assembly at my school, but it was my whole school was there. Bonnie Eagle, there was like, you know, there's a lot of people there. And me and my friend wrote a super heavy metal song, like really, really heavy. And we're just
like, you're like 13?
Yeah, we're like 13, 14, and we're like, you know, no one's going to like this except for us, but we're just going to go out and do it. And people like really responded to it. And like, we're in like country hick kind of territory. And like, we're playing like crazy metal. People are
just
like,
the two of you?
It's just two of
like
guitar and drums. That's it.
Pretty fucking sick.
And so
any vocals?
Nothing.
Oh yeah, I mean, so you just shredded.
Shredding, right?
Motherfuckers will always. That's the weirdest thing about like white country people. You play like the illest Madlib beat and some rhymes that like are filled with slang. They'd be like, "What the fuck they saying? I don't get this. This isn't music." But then like, dude, universally, like people just start shredding. They're like, I don't care what genre it is. It could be like some blues, folk, singular guitar, like 6 electric guitars, 2 different drum sets. They'd like that shit. And it's like, obviously, you know, it's like different. Like one's kind of more maybe lyric, music based. One's more just like appreciate the collaboration of live music type shit.
Yeah.
But to me, like, bro, like, it's just funny how like you start shredding anywhere, motherfuckers would be like, okay, yeah, this is cool.
You know, the thing is though, is I think the difference is that people aren't seeing the process. So when you're seeing a band live,
like the hip hop process.
Yes,
I mean,
yeah. So when you see a band live, you're seeing the guitar player do the thing in real life. And when you're playing a beat, like if they saw someone chop up a beat and make it in front of them, they'd be like, "Holy shit, that's insane!"
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? Like
That's
they've never even seen that process happen. So.
And if you're playing it live, not only did you like create it and you know write the music to it, and then practice it in the studio, and then probably record multiple takes, nailing it, and then practice for the show. Like live, you're seeing someone who's put like, you know, countless hours into that shit.
Yeah.
So you got to remember that like not every beat might be fucking, you know, a 3-week to 3-year music score that someone put their entire life into, like, you know, the guitar or the drums or something. But there's some fucking loops that like someone started, you know, probably 2 years ago that they've added a bass line, added like another melody, a snare, a couple like 808s, and then 3 years later they got like some stupid beat. So that's a very good insight.
Yeah.
Makes me definitely appreciate, I think, your process behind it all.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people like who are in other genres don't respect hip hop enough.
No.
They dabble into it.
They don't.
And especially if we white, we gotta show like double respect. So it's like, I really appreciate that. That understanding of the craft, so to speak.
Yeah, man.
Let's go back though to the first craft of yours, musically, so to speak. Because you've definitely been like a decorated drummer out here. I've known you've been in a lot of bands. Currently in Too Late the Hero.
Yeah, shout out Too Late the Hero, man.
But in my research, I've also like seen, just to mention a few, like you've played in Trove, Roseview, the American Classic, if I'm correct.
Yep.
I kind of want to just then hear about like your journey now, like from that talent show into these times, because that's probably like
it's crazy.
I can't even probably, you know, articulate the whole thing better than you could. So is there like kind of like major like segments of your life, I guess?
Yeah, I'll try to like, you know, run it down really fast, but so
or you can take your time too. Yeah,
man. So like played the talent show, and that was like the first time I'd like kind of put myself out there and got a lot of like positive feedback back, and I was like, this is something that like resonates with me. I was like, I feel like I can do something with this. So that was like, to answer your previous question, that was kind of when I realized like, all right, that's when I really need to take this seriously.
Gotcha.
That's when I was like, I started learning like whole albums. If I liked a band, I'd learn their whole album, and I would like try to dissect
all the music or just the drums.
Just the drums.
Still.
Yeah,
What were some albums?
Like I would do anything from, I started Disturbed. Ugh, that hurts to say, but it's true.
It was probably to me like that was always around. Like I could be
10,000 Fists.
I'm gonna say, is this like 06 to 08 when you're doing this? You turn on a fucking rock radio in 06 to 08, you're getting Disturbed, and not only that, you're gonna hear like the early 2000s Disturbed, because like people needed, dude, to endure it myself, like thinking about how we consume music back in the day is so wild compared to now. Like people would be like, "Oh, I fucking love 10,000 Fists," but you got to go and play like the shit from their first album because that's like the best album.
Yeah.
So radio stations are still peppering in like Down with the Sickness and stuff like that, still making sure like to please the fans.
Yeah.
But then it's like, all right, that was like a good one for all you old Disturbed fans, but now it's like time for shit from 10,000 Fists in the Air. Like youngins watching this be like, what the fuck you guys talking about? Like I know what radio is, but if I want to hear a song, I just go and play it.
Yeah,
it's like
I know it's
crazy.
crazy.
You couldn't really do that.
Yeah,
bro.
it's like you can't just like have your friend text you a link to click on a song.
Yeah,
like,
if you want to play music on your phone back then too, internet was so expensive on your phone. Bro.
Oh my god.
So I can not to interrupt, but I can fully resonate with like just being like, there's a lot of like cringy rock bands I was listening to, but that's what was like stupidly popular at the time.
Yeah, man. So
knocking stuff over is
one of my old friends. He invited me out to a show that his band was playing, and he knew I could like play drums, and I just wasn't putting myself out there. He got me out to a show, and one of the opening bands was like, the singer came up to me and was like, ended up being the old singer of Roseview, but he was like, "Hey man, we're about to play and we're looking for a new drummer." And I was like, all right. And I was watching this band play and I was like, all right, I can rock with this. And I went and auditioned. We played one song and I practiced it forever, bro. Forever. Get home from fucking work or whatever, school, downstairs playing that song on the drums. If my mom wasn't home, I was downstairs playing, man.
How long was the song?
It was only like 3 minutes, like just short. All over.
And you had been self-taught for the most part, I'm imagining.
Always,
well,
yeah.
In a sense, like you had maybe like some collective consciousness background information just from the household of drummers, but it's not like they're like sitting down like teaching you every fucking break.
No, bro, because I only like learned the extreme basics from them. I really did my own thing with the drums.
The only did they have a set at the crib?
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it. They just had the set there, and you're like, all right, well, I should sit down and use this if it's around, right?
That's it, yeah. And thank God, neither of them minded. They were like more than happy to let me rip on the kit. So, and then eventually they, my parents bought me a kit. Yeah, dude, it was awesome.
That's just important, man. That's what we got to fund the arts and shit.
Yep. So, I
practiced like a motherfucker.
Yeah, and then I showed up at their house, the guitar player's house to audition. We played the song one time, and they were like, "We need you in this band." And I was like, "All right, sick."
What year was this? In your life, at least?
2000. This must have been like 2012, 2011.
Like high school.
Yeah, end of high school. I graduated in 2012.
Same.
Yeah. So.
From Bonnie Eagle.
From Bonnie Eagle. Yep. So. That band wasn't doing a lot, and I got an opportunity to just like on a whim move to Atlanta and play in a metal band down there.
Damn. And was it the band you like had just done the song for?
No, I was just like, this band was called Tetrarch. And they're actually doing like sick shit now. So
how'd they link with you?
So they were friends with my buddy Adam, and they asked him to join because they were looking for a drummer, and then he recommended me. I auditioned. I didn't think anything was going to come out of it. I was like 18. I was
had you joined that band, you like practiced the routine?
Yeah,
for?
I did. Yeah.
Gotcha. So you're already like, all right, like I'm progressing a little bit. Like I've gone from like basement to collaborating with others in a more serious setting. Now you're getting offers pretty fast.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. No, it was like, when I got that offer, I was with my friend. I was like, he was like, "Do you want me to message them and mention you?" And I was like, "Why not?" Like, I was kind of treating it like a joke, like, "Oh, whatever, it's not going to happen." I got the opportunity to go down. I flew down. I auditioned for like 2 weeks, and they were like, "Touring starts in 3 weeks. Can you be here?" And I was like, "Yep." So, flew back home.
Ever been on tour before?
Never. But I was like, I know that that's what I want to do, So I flew back home. Quit my job, I broke up with the girl I was dating. I just left. And went down there and immediately hit the road, and it was like hard, but it really like drove that passion even more. You know what I mean? I was down there until I was like 20. moved back here, joined Roseview like long term. And, you know, we did a bunch of cool stuff. I played in Trove. We did some cool stuff. Played in that band Bloom for a while. We did like a lot of touring. Like I've been touring pretty much nonstop since I was 18 until like recently. So like almost 10 years.
Damn.
Yeah.
Pretty much until like the pandemic.
Yeah, even then though, dude, I was still on the road.
Nice.
I went to Japan during the pandemic.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah, man.
That's a fucking story.
Yeah.
What were you doing in Japan?
Playing shows.
Where at? What parts of the
So we
country?
played I don't even know what the town was. It was like outside of Tokyo, but we landed in Tokyo.
What time in the COVID timeline is this?
This was like right before Thanksgiving of like last year.
Gotcha. Oh yeah.
So there's like
you've been back out here.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
That's
So
pretty fucking wild.
yeah.
My brain just wants to then say like, so do you pretty much just keep the tour going with different acts, it sounds like?
It's kind of like I've just been jumping on opportunities, man.
Yeah,
Like
it sounds
really.
like you're on like obviously you don't drum under the name Krate Killer, but you on a Krate Killer world tour.
Yeah,
and
but
you're
that's
wherever my talents are needed, I'm gonna tag
yeah,
me in pretty
man.
much.
Yeah, man. So for the Japan tour, and it kind of that whole thing, like I've been producing at this point for a couple years, and like kind of just like to myself, you know, and I was like. Again, like it was kind of similar calling to like when I was a kid playing drums. I was like, I just feel like I need to fucking do this, you know? And I did a song with this guy named 60E. Shout out 60. He's out in LA. He's you know, I was on this tour and we had to stop in LA before we flew to Japan. And I hit him up and I was like, yo, I'm in the area. Like if you're like, I'm probably not going to work out, whatever. Don't worry about it. And he drove like an hour and a half to meet up with me. I showed him a bunch of beats and he was like, that turned into like us creating a project together. Be released later this year. But yeah, man, crazy how it's like things just kind of like worked out. Like I feel like that tour was the last tour that I did. And the stuff with 60 just kind of started working out. Yeah. It's really crazy.
Shit. I want to almost like bridge a little gap then between like some of your like coming back to Maine and that Japan tour. Like
Yeah.
I guess in your time as a drummer, like back in Maine, were you living back out here pretty much for like that whole time?
Yeah.
Sweet. So you've been living back in here since you moved back from Atlanta.
Pretty much, yeah.
I guess like do you just have any like major takeaways from watching? I don't want to say like the scene develop because like everything kind of has developed like over time in a sense, but I really feel like there's like a pretty, for how small this area is, there's a dense scene out here of bands.
Yeah, it is. I think the problem, man, is like competition. I think competition kills everyone, man. Like I got some friends in a band called Keonashi from Pennsylvania and they're killing it, man. But the way that band came up is they were like this like mathcore hardcore bands and like they just put everybody on, bro. They would let anyone play a show. They pulled up to like every show that was happening. Like they were just clicking in the scene and they were getting everyone else to do that, and it became this just big thing. They like created a scene. I feel like at least like that's what I feel like has happened in Maine in the past like a couple of times. And then I feel like it just, something happens, it gets destroyed. Like the venue, something happens with a venue or something like that.
Yeah.
You know
Are
what I'm
there
saying?
any big venues kind of from like when you were, not necessarily coming up, but just like any venues that aren't here anymore you want to show some love to one town so their names keep ringing out in a sense?
Man, I don't even know if I want to, for love purposes, but the vet center, man, that place was wild.
Is that like
man.
kind of like a VFW
VFW
type?
Hall
Yeah.
in Wyndham, and there was just
Whoa, I've seen shows there.
unhinged.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Was it kind
crazy.
of like right off the highway almost?
No, Wyndham's pretty far from the highway.
Then I'm thinking maybe it was south. I saw, I mean, obviously VFW shows and like vet shows are like not an uncommon thing, but I thought I went to one that was like, you know, it was in high school and it was kind of late and I might even been a little bit litty. And I know we took the highway to get there, and I guess you would take the highway to get from.
I wonder.
Old Orchard
You ever
to,
been to the Z Club? Shout out the Z Club. That place was fucking awesome, man. You ever go there?
I don't know if it was. I'm trying to think of the band. There was like a big band. Like in was it Steiner Street? Was that a band out here at one point?
Steiner Street?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Or maybe Truth of My Youth might have been another one too. That might also be a song. I don't even remember. But there's too much shit going on.
Yeah.
But I interrupted you. But shout out the vet centers, man. I just think a lot about how venues pretty much like venues kind of are the scene in a lot of ways.
Oh, facts,
like,
dude.
You don't have venues to, like, that's one thing I
You
love
have
about
nothing,
Portland.
man.
It's like shout out like the Cavern at Free Street just because those motherfuckers be trying to put on shows right now and like
all the time.
That's what I like to see.
Yes.
Like even like Suntiki and Afodian too. Like those motherfuckers like always like trying to at least kind of put a focus on local shit. That's the kind of shit that I love. And I mean, obviously, like Geno's too. They're celebrating 40 years right now, which is wild too. So it's like, those are the vibes you need to have in town because it's hard. Like, it's a fucking local cat in the book, State Theater. No, obviously you can't sell that shit out. But like, do they give local cats a chance to even like really
open a show or anything?
Yeah,
no,
it's like it doesn't happen as much as it should be happening in my opinion. At least like with how musical the city is.
Yeah, but it's like it's at that point you're talking business. You know what I'm saying? Like
I guess that's kind of what my question lies too. Like I'm like out here deep in this hip hop shit, but I just pop into hardcore shows every now and then.
Yeah.
And I know you've been out here forever, so I just kind of wanted to peep your brain about like I don't know, just things that you liked out here. I guess things that worked and overall thoughts. I guess.
I think that I think that there's definitely like community in Portland,
or even like constructive criticism. Not to interrupt.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. Constructive criticism. I mean, honestly, like I feel like I don't have enough time in the game to be given constructive criticism.
That's a good
and even,
marker though.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't even give people. The best advice is listen to your fucking heart and just don't be a dick.
Yeah.
That's really it. Like when it comes to this music shit, I think. Because that's a good respect.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Kind of glad you said that.
Yeah, because I'm like, like I mean, again, I've been doing it for a long time, but there's people that know way more than me and have been here longer than me and probably do more than me, and that's cool, man. Like I'm not, but I think that there is a strong community in Portland. Like shout out the venue on Free Street, like they're killing it, man. I think they're like reviving a lot of stuff around here, and I'm really fucking happy to see that for real.
Hell yeah, because I feel like when I talk to people in the scene that like were more like in your kind of sectors musically, a lot of like shows were and venues kind of like that, and like when you can pack in like tons of bands on a bill, like I'm talking like 20 bands on a bill some days and shit, and just like that's those I think for me, man, I try to remember like music to me is about like creating. It's about being personal. It's about going in your basement and hitting drums or like getting lost in music for a while. But I really think just for me, there needs to be places where people can go who can like either perform on stage or just be in a crowd and bump into other people in like a cheap, easy way where like you see your money's directly supporting someone who's like kind of in the same situation like you. That is really, I think, what like holds a scene down. Yeah. And I think a lot of those spaces low key got like taken the fuck out during the tightening in the pandemic and shit.
It did.
And it's unfortunate, but then you can't always like be looking at it in that token because you have, like you said, the Cavern at Free Street in a sense.
Yeah.
There's places like that will still always like pop up, and that's why it's important to like these national acts, for instance, hip hop wise, Lord Jamonte, Ogbon, Brain Orchestra, and Nolan, who used to go by Nolan the Ninja. They're like fucking all popping like in their own different sections.
Dude.
Like, one's from Charlotte, one's from Jersey, one's from I think Detroit is where Nolan's from. They're coming to Free Street, bro, in fucking May.
Really?
Yeah.
Brain Orchestra, dude, he's nasty.
Brain Orchestra be selling out in like overseas.
I know. I've been watching him on Instagram, and I like I've never talked to him. I don't know anything about him. I love what he does. I just support him. Like I think that he's just dope. He's just got his fucking thing locked down, bro.
I really enjoy his music. Like he's definitely got a very good style. He's actually on the Rhyme Beat compilation we dropped, so shout out Brain Orchestra as well for the beat on that. But I think just in talking about, because dude, like this whole shit, like talking about scenes. What the fuck is a scene? Yeah. Like
it's a community.
Exactly. To me, it's about less about like defining. It's more about remembering like it's just a community of people.
Yeah.
Hanging out, and like a scene. I think is more something you can feel than describe at some points.
Yeah.
Because it's always changing. And I've seen some like dope shows recently that get Sun Tiki and shit where you see a beat set. Shout out Graphic Melee, for instance.
I was just about to bring him up, man, because he's a prime example of what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I go outside and like Boondocks and Chan are there, and Gabe FM pulls up, and just like people from sectors of like main hip hop that were before me, and then I'm out here popping doing my shit. I'm like, and they like say what's up. I say what's up to them. We just, what are you listening to? What's the like? What you eating right now? What's the last good? Like just like little thing. How's your mind? How's your family? Just like, you remember when you're like, motherfuckers care and they want to check in on you, and just have fun.
Yeah.
Just talk about dumb shit.
Yeah, and just be stupid. Yeah. No, that's like, man, I mean, I've only been to one Stereo Dreams show so far, man, but just being able to go up there and just like play some beats on like the Pass the Aux thing was so fucking cool. Yeah. And like the response was so nice from everyone, and like,
hell yeah,
it just felt like what you were saying, like you want like that positive supporting environment. Like it's just dope, man. They're doing dope shit over there.
Yeah, big up Graphic for that. And we kind of got off topic here in terms of the linear flow of my questioning, but I more so just wanted to get into some conversation about a scene I don't know much about. And it definitely sounds like it may be even kind of similar to hip hop in a sense. There's a lot of people creating. Yeah. Sometimes it can be kind of competitive, but at the end of the day, I think the most important thing is remembering community does have like power. And when you don't just like use shit as like, oh, it's link and build, like, no, like just go to a show and spend $10 and help somebody out.
Yes.
Even if you don't fucking love the music, don't be dick, don't say anything.
Or, dude, you don't even have to spend money. Just go like someone's post or comment something. Because seriously, let's talk about power. Yeah. Where's the power lie, bro? Right now?
A lot of it's digital, bro.
Yeah, so it's like, give your friends some power too. Give them a like. Or
that's a good point.
It sounds simple, but it's kind of true. Like if you like really support your friends, like find out a way to collaborate with them. With my boy Maestro, me and him are we're picking samples. Like we're gonna flip the same sample each week and each release it like every week, so we can just keep like doing it just for fun, man. Just like we were talking and we're like, felt like we were both just kind of like working separately. We're like, why don't we like link more and share more and just be more engaging with each other? You know what I mean?
I fuck with that. I feel like I get lost in the digital shit sometimes, and I could be projecting maybe, but I forget so focused on like polishing it up and making sure like what I'm doing with my art at a personal level, even like in a digital level, is so well done. I forget about like the imperfection of human just nature, and I forget about like the just like the range of emotions and the vulnerability of what it means, I think, to be an artist. That's why I love artists who tour a lot, because it's like, and I should say before I make any like opinions, I don't like really judge motherfuckers if they don't tour. I don't judge motherfuckers if like they don't want to go on stage. Like that's like, I completely understand where everyone's coming from in that sense. But for me, I just think about like, I can get too perfect on here. If my voice sounds fucked up in this, if I fuck up, the cat pulls out a chord, this isn't live. We can fix this shit, man.
Yeah.
But when you can hone, like if this was a live podcast, I mean, we'd still be killing it, but it's like, it'd be a different element. I'd have to be in it. And I think that's why I just love watching the human experience of live art, because this digital shit's a facade in a lot of ways. I mean, you can't put the 3 dimensions, maybe even 4 dimensions of a being into a 2-dimensional device.
Yeah.
And if that becomes the basis of how you interpret everything in life, it's definitely, a good tool, but like you got to put the phone down sometimes.
You have to.
I got to close this motherfucker sometimes. I got to go outside. Like I really only feel good about technology when I balance it with parts of my life that like don't rely on it.
Yeah, just like nature. Man, go for a walk, some shit, you know what I mean?
So we were reading a meditation book beforehand, and that's what goes back to the consciousness shit.
Yeah.
You breathe, you return back to a state that you already just understand. Mm-hmm. Everything kind of is intuition in a sense. And then when you go dive into the overstimulating modern world, you kind of can, I think, differentiate between what's intuition and what's anxiety.
Yeah. Well, crazy. And the other thing, too, going back to like what you're saying about like seeing something live, I feel like when you interpret art on Instagram, it's so easy to scroll because there's just going to be another art thing happening, right? But when you're there at a show, that art in front of you is all you got, really. And it's going to be better than whatever's on your phone, so you're probably going to pay attention, right? So you're experiencing the artist like so much more genuinely that way, you know what I'm saying? like like I guess like the competition kind of goes down a little bit, I guess, but it's like focus. There's like more focus point.
That's a good point. I try to remember that. Like, the reason why I really like got into getting so attached to stuff like consuming it digitally, I guess, is because I like it just in the physical world too, man. And I think when we like get overstimulated, sometimes we forget that. So shout out community, shout out supporting your peeps digitally, and make sure you go support them physically. Always. Let's get into the Krate Killer shit, but beforehand, I just want to, I guess, touch on the Halo.
Yeah,
Halo Studio. Yeah. It's a pretty, established studio in Maine.
And it's beautiful.
And you're the in-studio drummer there, correct? Is that wrong?
I'm not really like an in-studio drummer. But I'm definitely like one of the go-to guys that they'll ask for.
Got you. So like you kind of like on retainer for studio purposes in a sense.
Kind of.
At your availability. It's not like you're locked into a contract.
No, not at all.
It sounds like, like to keep a couple motherfuckers on hand if they need something that works.
For sure, yeah.
During the cut.
It'll be something like, like, hey, this band, doesn't have a drummer or something, like come in and do that. But it's a
high up studio that I imagine charges motherfuckers not the cheapest probably to record as. So that is cool. Like probably a little feather in your cap in a sense. Like, oh yeah, fuck it, man. Like,
yeah, it's cool. It's like, dude, anything that I can do to create music, not even in like a make money way, because I don't like that. I try to be more like make a living. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need to be like trying to make $1 million. I just want to pay my bills.
You can burn out doing that. You gotta be careful doing that shit, yo.
Yeah, and I'm definitely the guy that does that too. But so I just try to, just keep that art flowing. Because if you're trying to constrict to getting $1 million, you're gonna burn out, like you said.
Yeah, like the higher you reach the top, or the quicker you ascend in a sense, the quicker you can fall. I think when you build slowly, day to day, that's like when you really get your strength in a sense.
Yeah.
Well, all right, we talked about hardcore scenes and youth and drumming, but I want to get into my area, the birth of Krate Killer.
Oh man,
what inspired you to start doing all this Krate? Because I feel like, bro, I was like literally, I worked at Boomers for the Cat, who you're now in a band, and obviously shout out Jack Stoles, and I want to say it's 2000 and I could be completely wrong, but 2000, I want to say he's 18, and he's like, you ever heard of Krate Killer? And I'm like, no. He's like, friend Krate Killer? I'm like,
dude.
So then I was like, I look at my, oh, there's some heavy drums and shit. And come to find out you're a fucking drummer, which is funny.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it, yo. How does Krate Killer shit come to fruition? Because I know you like hip hop, but not every motherfucker that likes hip hop starts becoming a producer.
Dude, so honestly, I bought like a MIDI keyboard and was just like trying to like make beats and figure it out.
Did it have like one of the little drum pads on the side too?
It did, but I didn't know how to use it at the time, so I just used the keyboard. I didn't even know how to use. I didn't know how to set up the pads. It had like knobs on it. I didn't know how to do any of that. I knew just enough to get like a sample or like a whatever drums onto the keyboard. And I would just play that and record it. They sounded terrible, but that's where I started.
Why? Do you remember why you did this? Was it like
I feel like because I've always wanted to be involved in hip hop, and I was always a drummer, and the melodic side of it, I could never pick up a guitar or play piano and stuff, at least that well, and I feel like sampling was like my cheat code for that.
Oh yeah, it's that. Hip hop takes every genre and makes it its own in a sense.
Yeah, so it's like I don't know how to play the violin, but I can take this thing playing the violin.
Some strings.
That's what I'm saying. So that was kind of like an inspiration for that. I bought a sampler that I knew nothing about.
Nice.
Spent $600-$700 on it, and I was like, I'm just gonna fucking learn it. And I took a couple years learning it, and man, I don't know. Alchemist was a huge...
Yeah, I was perfect. I was going to say, do you have any, like, production influences?
Alchemist, man.
ALC,
that
man. Larry June and Alchemist album dropped today.
I've been listening to it all day.
Yeah, I played it 2 or 3 times today. I'm in the cannabis game, so, when you, like, slang a little bit and you get to put on, like, some fly Alchemist beats, it kind of makes the day go by fast.
Yeah, man.
I love Alchemist, too, man. One of my favorite producers, like, from my childhood, or, like, from my teens and, like, still even now.
Yeah, man. And he's just, like... What I love about him so much, and I think what really opened my mind to him, is like he makes everything. Like back in like his first infantry days, like he was making like, that style of rap, beats, and like the stuff that he makes now is so different and just as beautiful, man. I don't even know.
I mean, man came up making Mobb Deep tracks.
Yeah.
And like, the thing about Alchemist, I don't like people know his story too well. Maybe I don't either, so I could be wrong. But I think I am kind of like a hip hop biographer, motherfucker, at this point. I believe Alchemist is from a more wealthier part in like the Los Angeles County, Beverly Hills area, I think. Even so much where he's in the Hooligans with James Caan, the actor. You know who James Caan is?
I've heard of.
You know The Godfather? You ever seen that?
Yeah.
You know Sonny in The
Yeah.
Godfather? That's
Yeah.
Sonny.
Oh, okay.
James Caan, I believe his son, Scott Caan, and Alchemist are in a hip-hop group in the 90s called the Hooligans.
The Hooligans.
It's a lot of like that wicked, like fast, like like Das FX kind of rap type shit.
Well, because he started as a rapper, I think, right?
Exactly. I don't think he was making the beat. Like, go look up the Hooligans. Like, it's Alchemist. I mean, like, if you're a hip hop guy, you're like, duh. But like, a lot of cats don't know this shit. And I bring this up because like Alchemist like was started doing that, and then he just started producing. And I think DJ Muggs took him on tour,
bro,
and was like, let me teach you like the ways and shit. And shout out DJ Muggs. And then Alchemist, a couple of years later, is literally with, I mean, in my opinion, like two of the coldest motherfuckers in hip hop history, at least just from a music standpoint. Mobb Deep, Queensbridge, maybe just Queens, New York, I'm not 100% sure, but point being, complete opposite side of the country. And he's out there for his production. I'm pretty sure he has beats on, I could be wrong, but Murder Music, which is the fourth Mobb Deep album, I think.
He does. And so he did learn from DJ Muggs, or at least partially.
I'm glad you're fact checking me.
Yeah, I am. No, I am. So at some point, you know, he was learning from DJ Muggs, and he used to like go like help him find samples while he was making Temples of Boom.
Yeah. Like OG crate digging shit.
Yeah, so he was helping him like find samples for that.
Ain't no Splice sample pack.
No, none of that. Like they're like going through records, you know, teaching him like, you know, if there's like fucking what the grooves in the record mean. Like, oh, there might be a drum break here. There might be no drums on this part of the record based on how it looks. Crazy stuff.
And again, like the physicality of the music world, the analogness of the music world. Like that's why records are wild. I mean, you ever play a record on some shitty or just on some like weaker system that doesn't have output speakers, you can hear the music still coming through the grooves, bro. Yeah. It's fucking weird, man.
It's wild, man.
It's weird, man.
Yeah,
it's some weird ass shit. Records are weird as shit, bro.
Records are weird. So
dude, no, it blows my fucking mind.
Yeah. So he moved to New York, and I don't remember why. I wish I could remember why. And DJ Muggs hit up like everyone that he knew in New York.
I think Muggs is from New York. That's why. I think Muggs is from New York, moved to the West Coast, and then ALC is kind of the opposite. But I could be wrong about that. And I mean, Muggs, Cypress Hill, he's got Stripes in the game at that point. Black Sunday's like, you know.
Well, so I think Alchemist was part of Dilated Peoples, and they went on tour with Cypress Hill.
He, I don't know if he was officially like a member of the group, because I think the group was Rocka, Irish Science, Evidence, and DJ Babu, which is this is some hip hop nerd shit. But of course, like Alchemist and Evidence are stepbrothers. They go way back.
It's so crazy, and their stepbrothers shit is crazy.
Oh my
too.
dude, and that's like 10 years old. Like, that's an album I've talked about with a lot of people too. Shout out, I think Ryan Adams we talked about that with, and Riley Lamar, because I remember taking out the felt cover that it has. That's a very good point, because the Dilated Peoples connection, because Dilated Peoples is huge, obviously, at that point. I mean, they have like Guru on some of their tracks.
But bro, hold on. What does this go back to? Community, bro.
People have
you see,
people just being there.
You see, and that okay. I'm glad this happened. That was a big reason why I wanted to go into hip hop, because I was like
just watching the Alchemist story.
No, watching the community, bro. Watching the community, man.
Of course, man.
Yeah,
that's what this shit's. That's literally what this shit is all about.
Yeah,
for me, man, is like.
But even with you, man,
it's mostly it. But like, it's about like getting high and listening to music at my crib by myself a lot of the time. But like then it's about hearing live beats. It's going to get chicken, popping into a show because a friend's doing a bill and I just want to pop in, and then hearing an artist I never heard before open up for them or after them that I'm like, oh, I gotta listen to their shit.
Yeah.
So that's a very good point too, man. Community and just the hip hop nature to kind of like embrace shit you fuck with in a sense.
Yeah.
So I mean, good. I mean, we're getting all over the place, but it all ties together because it just shows you like Alchemist going to the first infantry days and what he was making then has that kind of backstory.
Yeah.
And it shows you what he got to really be not introduced into, but like be a part of in a sense. Obviously, like he had OGs looking out for him, but then you flip that, you go to like the rap camp shit 10 years after First Infantry or so, and he's with like, you know, making No Idols with Domo Genesis. He's got Mac Miller, he's got Wretch, he's got Vince Staples at the crib. That's 10 years ago, dude.
I know.
And then we go another 10 years, and he's got like...
And he was like, bro, like, him and Boldy James, like, my first chemistry set or whatever.
See, motherfuckers forgot. Like,
it's so crazy.
Obviously, man, I'm forgetting now, too. It's not Bo Jackson. What's the one before Bo Jackson? Not Super Tecmo Bowl.
No, not Bo Jack. You're talking The Price of Tea?
The Price of Tea in China.
Yeah, in China, yeah.
Even before that, what's this motherfucker doing?
Come here, baby.
Even before The Price of Tea in China, you have My First Chemistry set, which has, like, some huge artists. Like, I think Vince is even on that one. Like, I think of What's the Word? I'm in college, 2014, playing What's the Word by Alchemist and Boldy James. That song comes in my head all the time. Again, that's years before they dropped this shit, and then I feel like after Price of Tea in China comes out, I mean,
oh my God, Boldy was on top, man.
Boldy's on the murder streak, but then even after that, I mean, the Thing of Ours albums, the Arm & Hammer album.
Oh my God,
he just does the Larry June album. Keeps doing shit with Action Bronson. Like, Alchemist, I think embodies, at least just to me, what really inspires me is a pure love to just keep going and create, and then also like. Maybe it's, you know, looking, maybe I'm probably projecting way too much, but you think about, like, you know, how he came up, and, like, you know, James Caan, like, imagine, like, a Hollywood A-lister's, like, one of your dad's best friends.
Yeah.
Like, I'm imagining he must have been, like, pretty generous. I mean, like, hooking up the friends and shit here and there, maybe.
Yeah, but I don't think it was anything, like, they're, you know, his dad's friend was, like, buying him gear and stuff.
Oh,
I still think
No, more so, like, I'm a rich ass motherfucker, so when you come to my crib, like, dinner's on me. And I'm hooking everybody up. Like, he's seeing someone like with some maybe more resources than him, fuck motherfuckers in. Because now I feel like Alchemist, that's what he fucking does, bro.
Yeah, man.
He's got stupid resources in the game and just makes dope ass shit and doesn't seem to really like flaunt or ask a lot about for it. And that's what I respect, man. A lot.
Yeah, that's why it's like I feel like he just does it for the love of hip hop, like you said. He just creates. He's always trying to like. I feel like whenever Alchemist drops, I never know what to expect, and I love that, man, because I'm like, and he's just so authentic to himself, man. I listen to him legit every day, man.
Yeah.
He's
I mean, I got tons of Alchemist records in the next room home for you to dig through.
Yeah, please, man.
Yeah, man, it's wild just thinking about. This sounds wild. He has dropped so much recently. I've almost like saturated my knowledge of Alchemist. Because I came up into him deep, like project to project. I was listening to everything. I can barely keep up with ALC these days. Mm-hmm. It's tremendous. He's on the Hip Boy project that just comes out.
Oh my God.
Then he drops this Larry June shit. Then I'm like, you know, like there's things in the cut. Like I guess an Earl album's still supposed to come out.
There's a Boldy James album.
I forgot maybe the like arguably top 5, if not like maybe some people's best rap album last year. Elephant Man's Bones. I like have that like hanging on my wall in my bedroom right now. I mean that album like meant a lot to me. I forgot to mention that, bro.
Quantum Leap. That's a nasty, and what's crazy? Oh my God. It's just the nastiest beat that I think I've ever heard in my life.
Quantum Leap, really?
Yeah, that's like, man.
That loop when I first
I have no idea how he made that.
I was on lunch break, bro. I took a little toots to the duts, a little bing rip to the face, and then I'm walking through Old Orchard Beach. I hit the beach walk, and Quantum Leap hits, and I'm like walking, and it's like a movie scene. I'm like, first time I heard it, I heard that
that piano line, crazy,
dude. I think Alchemist too. We should probably stop nerding out and story linear, so like the 7 people that appreciate this can, we can move on to the other, dozens. But Alchemist, I think, is one of those producers that I really like because he almost gets me formulatic in a sense sometimes. Like in my like hearing it, I'm like, all right, I get what's going on. It's like these are the 4 bars, but then he'll throw like some little like quick little sample or some little like he'll just take the drum out real quick, like one like snare, one kick. And I'm like, what? Nope. I've been nodding my head there every time in the past 15 seconds, and that time I didn't. Yeah, but that shit's so hard to do cleanly.
I think. Here's the thing, this is game right here too. It's all intentional, bro. He does like, you know what I mean? 100%. Like every drop that he's doing, there's something behind that. He's not just doing a drop to make a drop cool. Like, there's intention behind every single move that he makes, which is why it sounds so good. It's plotted.
I 100% agree.
Plotted, bro. He's the GOAT.
He, I don't know, man. He just knows how to, like, emphasize and hesitate at the perfect times. And, like, I don't know. You just want to keep listening to his shit.
Yes.
Well, I was going to ask about any production influences, but that definitely covered that.
Yeah, for sure.
Were there any challenging aspects getting into this shit?
Getting into producing was, like, again, I felt like I could put drums over a lot of stuff just being a drummer. That's kind of how my brain works. But the melodic aspect is, like, where I struggled heavy. Because I was, like I said, I've never, like, a guitar player or a piano player or anything like that. And I'm still learning, you know what I mean? And learning how to chop samples, learning everything, man. It was like I spent like 10 years, or not 10 years, probably, you know, I did so many years of like playing drums, and then learning how to make beats was just like starting from scratch, dude. I felt like I was starting from square one right again.
You really were. It definitely sounds like the drum background maybe helped you like understand patterns and like the way drums should maybe sound, but at the same time, you're not, you know, doing a 4-minute hardcore or metal song, bro. You're doing like maybe like 2-minute beats tops sometimes. Yeah. It is cool to hear about, you know, how you could bring things from your past, but also kind of like struggle while learning some new shit.
Oh yeah, and that's the beautiful part of it, man, is that I always want to learn. Like, I'm eager to learn always. I want to know everything. I'm fascinated, you know.
That's good shit.
Yeah, man.
It's important. I think the rapid fire questions I think the rapid fire questions are also rather important.
Yeah.
So would you rather get into a little quick, speedy round of questioning, and then maybe kind of just talk about what we've been working on, and then kind of wrap it up here?
Yeah, let's go, man.
We've spent like damn near an hour up in here. I'm kind of losing track here.
Yeah, no, we're just having fun, man.
All right, we're gonna hit these rapid fire questions.
Let's do it.
Favorite color?
Blue.
Hip hop artist you'd love to collab with?
Jay-Z.
Drummer who inspires you?
Drummer that inspires me, man. Shout out fucking Connor Dennis of Beartooth, man. He's nasty.
Maine or Portland food spot you want to shout out?
Duck Fat.
Dope city you've traveled to?
Man, dope city I've traveled to. Oh no, I know this is supposed to be rapid. I'm sorry.
You're doing pretty quick. Most motherfuckers like every question. You got like 3 in a row pretty fast.
Nah, man. Honestly, man, shout out LA. LA is dope, man.
Nice. What's a city you want to travel to?
Man, I want to go. Honestly, I really want to go to like Barcelona. That's a skateboard. That's a whole other thing.
I've been to Barcelona, bro. It's beautiful,
man.
Maybe the coolest architecture in any city, honestly, I've ever seen. I was actually dumbfounded by like the buildings, especially when you could get like views from like up above and like certain parks and shit. Dude, that city is so, I don't know. It's just very like I don't even know, like not romantic, but there's just a lot of like emotion in that city. It had a lot of character in a good, like a really really good way. Yeah. I just felt like I was like in the middle of like a bunch of history.
That's sick, man.
And not like in like a nerd. Like, you know, go to like France or some shit, or you go to like, you know, London, and like you get to see like Big Ben. It's like, oh, that's kind of cool, but like I just felt like I was like, oh, there's a lot of like life in this motherfucking city, bro. Like a lot of like pockets that like you turn down one alley where you never know what you're gonna find type shit. It was amazing. I'd heavily recommend.
That's dope. Yeah, would love to.
Hip hop artist you want more people to listen to? Could be Krate Killer.
Man. Sorry, you're stumping me with the fucking questions right now, man. Hip hop artist I want someone. Honestly, man, shout out Evidence, man. I don't think people give Evidence his fucking flowers, man.
Evidence is dope.
That feature that he has on the Larry June albums.
Isn't the song called like No Evidence or something like that?
Yeah, No Evidence Left or something like that. Yeah, dope.
Yeah, Evidence is good. Evidence has been really stepping up his production too,
Facts,
recently.
Man. Facts.
Shout out that, because I really only knew him as an MC.
Yeah, Unlearning. That song's crazy. Yeah.
And his last, what was it? The Weatherman? Not the Weatherman. Excuse me.
No, it's the one with like puzzle pieces, right? That's the one you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, that's the Unlearning Volume 1, right? That's the tape. Or no?
No, it's not called Unlearning Volume 1.
Unlearning's a song off of.
That's just a single.
I'm thinking of Throw It All
Oh,
Throw It All Away off the album.
oh yeah, that's I think that's
Whether or Not, I think.
Whether or Not.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
But he does have that new shit out with the puzzle pieces. It's like navy blue on that album
Yeah,
too.
I think so.
I haven't.
Yeah.
I gotta listen to that more.
Yeah, I know.
I'm slipping on the new EV. Goal you still have as an artist.
Man, play a live show, which is gonna happen in May.
Nice.
Let's go.
There we
Stereo
go.
Dreams. I can't wait.
There we go. That's exciting, man.
Yeah.
We can plug some more stuff too at the end for
Yeah,
sure.
you're good.
I was gonna try and look at my. Oh yeah, if you have to fight Godzilla, which hip hop crew you tagging up with to fight?
So like they're gonna be on my team to fight
You
Godzilla.
win any hip hop crew versus Godzilla.
Oh, Griselda, done. Godzilla's getting smoked.
That's a pretty good one, yeah. Griselda. I was thinking about when Royce the 5'9" beef Benzino back in the day, and he had a, I think he had like an RPG or a rocket launcher on like a webcam and like a video one time. I think allegedly. This was like 20 years ago, so it's just a way to think about the internet. But I feel like I haven't seen any other rap crew with that much or I haven't seen a rapper with that much artillery ever. I've never seen a rapper with a bazooka. I feel like that's the only thing, because even if you got like a bunch of like straps, so to speak, and Dracos, as they say, it's Godzilla, bro. You think like 15 AKs is gonna take down Godzilla? I don't even think RPG's taking down Godzilla.
So yeah, that's why I'm picking Griselda. I feel like that's my best chance, bro. I didn't say I was gonna win. Actually, I did say that. He's getting smoked. Yeah. I did say that. I stand by my word. He's getting killed. Fuck that.
Let me think. If anybody, there's got to be some like there's got to be something. I'll figure that one out later. I'm trying to like make up some like anime pilot episode in my head about a hip hop crew becoming like defeating legendary monsters and shit.
Oh man.
So that's a good segue actually. Last rapid fire question. Last TV show you peeped.
Man, what's it called? Oh my god, it's a dating reality show called Are You the One? Mad.
Some good stuff.
Madness, bro.
Should be tapped in.
Should be tapped in. Man, about to get attacked.
No,
he's just chilling. He's
just looking
beautiful.
Cute. Yeah,
oh
look how cute the cat's being. Just chilling.
I don't even want to touch you because you're gonna go wild.
What's the show again? Plug it one more time.
Are You the One?
Are You the One?
On Netflix, man. Crazy.
Right. Well, we survived the rapid fire.
Yeah.
Let's kind of hit the downward slope here. What are you working on now? Is there anything you want to tease to the people?
Yeah, man.
Any Krate Killer inside info?
Yeah, I got a lot, man. So, I have an album that I just finished up. First executively produced album ever. Bugsy H, S18, Nonchalantly Zay's on there. It's just, I'm very proud of that, man.
Bugsy's, I know of them from like being from the Massachusetts scene, right?
Yeah, they're all from Mass. And on that tour I was telling you about where I linked up with 60.
Was that the Japan one?
Japan, yeah, right before we went to Japan. So I put out an Instagram post, and I put like $20 into an Instagram ad, just like me making this beat. And Bugsy saw it, and that's how I got linked up with him. And he just like hit me up. He was like, "That beat's crazy. You got other stuff?" I sent him a beat pack. He was like, "Nah, we gotta do an album." And I was like, "All right, let's go." I got back home, and that we were just locked in.
That's fucking sick. So stay tuned for more info on that.
Yeah, man. Then I got an album wrapping up with 60 East. Shout out 60, man. He's dope. He's such a good guy.
I know Bugsy, but I don't know 60 East.
60's nasty.
How do you spell it for those at home?
So it's 60 EAST, 60 East, bro. The highway.
One word.
Yes, sir.
Tremendous.
Yeah.
And then Bugsy H, I think it's BUGSY.
Yeah, H dot.
H dot. Yeah.
Yep. And then S18, S18.
He's got that Easter dinner. Yo, this is like this Easter dinner song by Bugsy that I fucking love his flow on. He's just got a really good, like, kind of like aggressive, but kind of like cocky, laid back Massachusetts type flow.
Yeah, he's nasty, and he's also like tough as nails, but nicest guy ever, man.
Yeah.
He's dope. I'm honored to be putting in work with him.
That's exciting, man.
The whole collab called Atris, HRIS, man, and it's just I'm honored. So
hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
Where can people find your shit? I think you got like a SoundClick, Engineers, SoundCloud.
Yeah, I got like I'm on Spotify. I got a couple songs. And that'll get more stocked up as we go throughout the year. But I'm going to drop it, hopefully at least like 3-4 albums this year.
Nice.
Yeah, and
Any beat tapes in the works?
Yeah, man, I'm gonna be on a beat tape with Maestro and a bunch of other cats. Can't wait for that. That's gonna be sick.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, again, like the community in hip hop has been so kind to me, and I'm like grateful as fuck for that.
Yeah,
man.
and you said you got a Stereo Dream set too, right?
Yeah, I got Stereo Dream set, man. The first Wednesday of May. I wish it was like May 3rd or something like that. I'm gonna be opening the show. Yeah, I'm so excited for that.
That's dope.
I've never done a producer show, so it's like a whole new thing for me, man. I've never done it.
Like obsessing over the routine for that, like
Yeah,
like the drum shit.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna have like a couple, samplers, but yeah, man, I'm excited for that.
That's exciting. It is exciting.
Yeah,
Your
man.
first one.
Yeah.
Well, this is what we do. We like to just get some new stories out here.
Yeah,
This is
man.
You doing some new shit and making some dope beats out here in Maine. So
Appreciate that, bro.
I guess before we get to the final question, do you have any final statements?
Man, thank you for having me. I'm like, man, like even you're a part of that community that I'm talking about, man. Like you're out here putting in tons of work into this podcast and going out to shows and just being a good dude. So like I appreciate that. It's just like an artist, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So, yeah, and shout out community, man. It's most important.
For real, we gotta take care of each other, man.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, it's not just like community. Just isn't like seeing local artists on your phone and like scrolling. Community is like getting to go out and like do shit and like see people and just jumping into a fucking set or jumping into like someone's set and looking at it and be like, oh cool. Like even if I wouldn't have gone and like maybe done this by myself, if someone drags you out, fuck it, just get
go.
out there,
Yeah,
try new
just
shit.
go, yeah.
I think I just remembered stay out of my head and stay open-minded about shit, because let's say you even go and you see something and you don't fucking like it, at least you went out and tried, and you'd be like, I'm probably not gonna go to that type of music again, but I still went, man.
Yeah,
like, just do shit, man.
Yeah, you had an experience.
Exactly. It's good to live your life, and I'm definitely mad introverted, but
Same.
I feel better when I shake it up a little bit and go out. Because the thing is, like, one cool thing I think when you can find solace in an art community is you're not at some place where, like, everyone's kind of under scrutiny, where it's kind of like at work or, like, you're out in line at the grocery store and you feel like everyone's, like, looking at you if you got social anxiety and shit. Like, you go to a show and, like, the lights are kind of dark and everyone's staring at something and you can kind of just, like, melt into a wall. Like, that's wicked important for, like, a massive percent of the population.
Yeah.
So shout out that, man. And hey, yo, let's keep getting some good shows out here, venues, man. Like someone give me a fucking like venue out here. I don't wanna fucking pay for shit because it's too expensive. But if we can somehow finesse like I don't know, a couple Rhyme nights here and there, let's keep it going. So
That'd be dope.
yeah, I'm talking like I want to take over the Civic Center for a night.
Oh,
start blowing shit up. Get monster trucks up in there.
That'd be dope. Shout out Monster
Can you imagine a Krate Killer beat set through the loudspeakers while there's like monster trucks?
You know what? Yeah, I can. Let's do that.
That's what I'm saying.
Investors. Any investors tapping in to this? Let's go.
That's been the whole point. It's been a pitch. All right. I'm pretty much down to ask the last question. What do you think?
Let's do it.
Okay.
That's the last question.
Doing a dramatic pause.
Yeah, I was like, damn.
Okay. Where will Krate Killer be 1 year from now?
1 year from now? You know where I want to be? I want to be on Benny's Crib podcast talking about all the shit that happened the last year.
Ooh.
That's what I want to do.
That's good. That's a good
Yeah,
one.
you like that?
I like that. I think someone said that before too, because I was going to say, and we're going to sit in the same exact place and wear the same exact things and say the same, but I know I've said that before on the podcast. Is that ringing a bell with you, Twigs? All right. Well, that's really it, yo. Krate Killer's got some shit in the works. Look for the Bugsy H, and who else is on that?
60 East. Oh, yeah, for the Bugsy H album?
Yeah,
S18
right?
and Nonchalance A.
Man, you're confusing me because you got 60 East S18.
Yeah,
it's like a math class up in
yeah,
here.
I know. Yeah.
Well, shout out Numbers.
Yeah.
Shout out Life. Shout out Soto for the instrumental for this podcast.
Yes,
you ever heard of
sir.
Soto shit?
No, but I need to.
It's happened to Soto's hard.
Let's go.
He's been cooking up a lot too.
Let's go, man.
Shout out Yardy Ting for sponsoring this podcast. Ah, man, I'm not even going to get into it, but Yardy Ting, delicious food. Go and get you some. I'm thinking about the coconut curry right now. Little chickpeas, flavor. It's tremendous. And with that, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Peace.
Stay tapped in. Peace.
Thanks.